Hello, love wrestling. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards.
Can we start off with the biggest news of the week? The Rats lost!
If you've got the budget, I've got the time.
There he is.
Hey, boss!
There's the boss.
Hey! The man with the finest beard on this screen. Canadian men, boys, shut the hell up. Let me talk.
You see, the Rads are resourceful. When I got beef with somebody, I can find a way to talk to them.
Listen between two beers.
Hello, love wrestling. It is 8 p.m. It is another Thursday night, and y'all
It's not just another Thursday night, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you. Yes.
How old are you, 21?
21? Yeah.
All right, now you can do the whole thing. I'm sorry, my bad. Start
That's
over.
okay. It's Thursday night. It's 8 p.m. And by now, y'all know what this is. This is 152 of these bad boys at this moment. It's another new episode of Between Two Beards. Pluggo, you are right. It is my birthday. Thank you.
That's right, baby.
I shared this birthday with, I don't know if you heard of this fella, little old actor, used to be a professional wrestler. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, his birthday is also today. Obviously, mine is way more important. But yes, I do share.
Don't worry, I got your boy on.
Asked him to acknowledge me for like 10 years straight, and he just
because it's your birthday and because we have a killer guest tonight.
We do have we got a big guest. I'm excited.
In case it gets too hectic and we're here too late, I got me some Voss water bottles ready to go in case I got to take a pee. I don't want to leave the stream. I know your birthday bro Dwayne does it, so it's Dwayne approved. We'll try it here tonight.
Yeah.
Hey Dwayne, why don't you shout out my boy JPJ on his birthday once in a while? We got Omar in the house. We got Scott George up in this house. He was talking trash. He's still talking trash. Thunder Rose as a thing.
He is talking trash.
We don't talk bad about Thunder Rose on this stream. Yeah. But we love you, Scott. And then Ryan Sullivan in the house. He was here a little draft, and he was the one that helped us do our WWE draft. So
that is true. We did do our WWE mock draft. If you saw that on the socials last week, we did have our NFL draft watch along. But Pluggo, you mentioned off the top
that we need 39 likes for your birthday because you're 39. Yep.
Yeah, I am. I'm close to the big 4-0, brother. And then it's who knows what happens.
We'll see.
But you mentioned at the top we have a huge guest this evening.
Super excited for this.
Yeah, super excited. We're gonna bring him on in a minute because our guest tonight, we got a clip of the man. Why don't you let the people know who are?
So here's what we're doing tonight. So this, if you've ever been aimlessly scrolling TikTok, and this gentleman has asked you to stand on business at 2:00 in the morning on the toughest wrestling,
rate and rank people when my brain's not thinking at that moment.
And he yells at you. This is our guest. No, Hell Scoob is from my neck of the woods, so we're gonna play a clip so that way, once I play the clip, you'll be like, "Yep, I know exactly who that is." Then we're gonna bring him on and we're gonna chat some wrestling. So without further ado, do you want me to do it? Do you want to do
you
it?
can hit this button. I'll let you.
I can hit this button. Oh
Yeah.
man, this is
generous.
an
It's my
honor.
birthday. You can touch the button.
I should purposely put the wrong button. So yes, you may have seen our next guest on TikTok doing a few of these.
If you're looking at this video, you know exactly what you're getting yourself into. There's going to be a question. There's going to be a game. And you must stand on business. Out of these 4 wrestlers, who was the best in their prime? The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, or Shawn Michaels? That's all we got to know. Who was the best in their prime? Them prime years. They come and go for a wrestler. But right now, you need to tell me who had the best prime. I ain't talking about the drink. Hit them comments.
Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Hell Scoob, what's up, my friend?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? You can hear me good, right?
Yo, we can hear you perfect.
Sure
All right.
How are you?
All right, I'm good. I hear it's somebody's birthday.
Yeah.
Is that what else?
JPJ's
Awesome.
birthday.
Happy birthday, JP.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I almost thought about calling in sick today, to be honest with you. I was like, no, I'm just kidding.
You know, that's what we did in our younger days.
But then Plugger was like, yo, we got Hell Scoob. And I was like, well, you got to show up. Got to show up on the birthday.
Yeah, you gotta show up for that.
That's a big deal.
Or would it just been two people from South Bend running a Canadian wrestling channel for the night? It would have been weird.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's part of the reason. I'll start right there. That is, you're from my hometown. When I found that out, I immediately was like, awesome, because our hometown isn't necessarily rich with wrestling content creators, but there happens to be like a few of us, and you happen to be one of them. So I was like, well, I got to link up. We got to make this happen. I got to get him on the show. So first and foremost, we're super psyched that you're here.
Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you for having me. I'm glad I had my beard going on with you too.
Yeah,
so,
so
between 3 beers now,
three
right?
beers tonight. Yeah, between 3 beers tonight.
So we're pro beards on this channel, my friend.
Yeah. I've been thinking about how to answer the question of the clip that we saw the whole time.
Yeah, in the chat, feel free to answer the question.
I was like, who do I think? I think it's The Rock. I think that would be my answer.
You got to stand on your business.
I will stand up. I'm not going to say he's my favorite of the 4. Stone Cold is my favorite of the 4. For me, I was like in 7th or 8th grade when that shit hit, and it was just like, okay, this is like perfect timing. He's my dude, right? So he's without question my favorite. But I think in their prime, I think The Rock was the best total package of the 4. I would say.
I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad at that at all.
That's it. That's my answer. No, everybody doesn't have to answer, but I literally have been thinking about it since the time. Like, who do I think it is?
Joke's on you. I actually brought you on because you never answer any of these questions.
That's the joy of it. I've been asked so many times, like, Scoob, why ain't you answering? Why aren't you answering? So when it comes down to it, if I ever do answer one of these questions, I don't want it to jump the shark. Like I always leave it on that cliffhanger. Like I think I posted a video today, and I was like, "Well, I'm going to go with," and it just cuts off. You don't need to know. I want you to still think and understand that everything that I do is going to be subjective. It's up to you. The one thing about the IWC, everybody's opinion means something, and everyone needs to understand that your opinion is yours. Like no one can change that for you. That is like the main purpose of my videos. It's like if I can ask you a question and to you, whatever the answer is, no one can change that for you. No one can tell you that your answer is wrong. So it's pretty fun to go in the comments and see people fighting for their lives in there. It's like, oh no. I know I've been attacked a few times. I didn't even answer.
That's good stuff. So
we got Tanner Lee in the house. Say it too.
Oh yeah, Tanner Lee, another
Northern Indiana guy
from your area,
Fort Wayne. Hey, we got Indiana strong today. Yeah, I was. That's always the toughest. Is like you're right though. That's been our whole basis. That's my whole basis of my platform has been like. It is subjective. No one's really right or wrong. If you think The Rock was the man and I think Triple H is the man, we're not really wrong. Yeah. And the way you just start fires and just leave, you're just like, see you guys.
I told you I thrive in the chaos, man.
But I mean, I think that's kind of the nature that everything is turned into, right? Where it's like opinions are opinions. They're not right or wrong answers. They're opinions. Now, there are opinions that we can disagree on, and we can strongly disagree on some opinions, right? But I think we've gotten, and social media is part of it, but we've gotten into this nature where if you don't agree with me, you are wrong. You know what I mean? So like, you know, when you're talking about, you see your comment section sometimes and there's people fighting for their lives, because I do feel like in a lot of situations, and I've been a culprit of it too. Like if you believe in something and somebody thinks other than you, like there are times where you're like, no, I'm right. I'm right on this one. I'm right. So you get into this, and instead of just being like, all right, cool, man. Hey, yeah, I don't agree, but cool. It's like, no, I'm right and you're wrong. And then it turns into this.
I have to word myself. Like I got to use the right verbiage in my videos. If I don't, then I've seen so many people hang on just one word being wrong. So I think I had a video where I asked everybody, who is your GOAT? But I had to clarify, like, your GOAT. I didn't say the GOAT. I didn't say that it's this person. I'm saying, hey, your GOAT. Everyone has their own person that they follow. And that is one that I answered.
Yeah, you did.
Randy Orton's my GOAT. Like, so, like his longevity, him being, he's gotten hurt a few times, but he reinvented himself so many times. It's just him coming back, and you just feel that energy that he still loves the business. I started watching wrestling young. I was still a teenager when Attitude Era happened, when Randy first came in, and he just stuck with me. He stood out to me. So I did answer that one, though.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Well, I was going to ask you, I was going to say, let's kind of go all the way back to when you first started watching professional wrestling first, because, get to know you a little bit better. You just said the Attitude Era was still kind of happening when you were younger.
When I was younger. Yep.
Do you remember what your first come across with wrestling, like what made you fall in love with it, or something that sticks out to you?
The first thing was Macho Man's delivery.
Oh, yeah, dude, he's my favorite of all time. Macho Man.
Back in the day, it just gravitated you towards what was going on. And I think my first exposure to it was, and it's probably going to be cliche or corny, is like the Slim Jim commercials back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And I just wanted to figure out who he was. So I finally figured out that he was one of the biggest wrestlers in the business. He was out here and he was doing his thing. So I used to watch him and Hogan, the Mega Powers, back in the day. But growing up, this is one thing TikTok gave me, was a platform to be able to talk about things that I hold dear, because growing up, it wasn't really the best thing to do. Like people made fun of you for liking wrestling in the 80s and 90s.
They did? They still do. What are you talking
They tried, but we're at that point now. Oh, it's fake? Oh, really?
Yeah. We've
Back
gotten
then
over
it hurt your heart. Back then it was like, oh my goodness, why did you tell me this thing was but I really got into it towards the Monday Night Wars. You got to remember, back then we had limited cable access.
Yep.
But when you got to watch it, you were into it.
Sure.
I used to be in it so much. It was the old TV Guide channel that you used to get the little box on the side. You used to watch Sunday Night Heat before the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
That was classic. That's goated to me. So I just kept having that love for wrestling. But the Attitude Era was a time where I was really more into it. In my late teenage, young adult years, during the Ruthless Aggression era, I kind of tapered off a little bit. And I did find my way back, in the sense of my little brother got into it too. So I'm like, okay, I got somebody to do this with.
Yeah.
But TikTok gave me that platform where we were talking about being in South Bend, and I seen Wheezy Blonde's video. And I'm like, yo, she is from my neck of the woods. She's doing it. So I know I want to get on here and do this too. So it's like when I started on TikTok, I think I started doing the wrestling content when I had like 300 followers. I'm roughly around 7,500 followers now, and just trying to build that community. And I want people to have fun. I want people to understand I can make fun of myself. I can critique myself. You can critique the wrestlers that I like. You can do all these things over here. I don't want people to come into the platform and automatically just be on, I'm upset, I'm mad that your opinion's not mine. I want you to have fun with it. I want you to be able to come in there with an open mind and see that other people love wrestling, but they just don't have to like it the way you like it.
Yeah.
So
just change that channel. That's what I would say.
there it is.
But no, you mentioned Wheezy. That's how I got linked up with you. Is she was on a live and I popped in and I mentioned I was from South Bend, because not to be cocky or anything, but I was sitting there and I was like, in South Bend, there's just not, because it's a decent wrestling town. There's a lot of indies around here and we get a lot of things close by. There's just not a lot of people doing anything in content. And I was like, is it just me and Wheezy? And she had mentioned you. And I was like, oh shit, we got a third. Hell yeah. So I'm happy to say that I'm like the third best content creator in South Bend. But you're right. It's hard. It's hard when you're looking for an outlet in that community, as JPJ and I've talked in the past, that this has been an outlet for us to grow and get to find people that have like opinions like us, that like wrestling, because it is hard to just go into work and be like, I like professional wrestling. What about you? And they're like, what?
You're right. Right.
So that's awesome, dude. That's so cool.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you saw Wheezy Blonde's video and that was like, oh, a kind of an eye-opening thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the first moment that you truly like said, I want to do this? Or had you been thinking about, hey, I want to do some content creation? I'm a wrestling. Did you always want to be wrestling based? Like, how did you start to like really get into the content creation?
No, I wasn't always wrestling based. I couldn't find my niche at all. And I was new to the TikTok space or being on social media with it. Privately, me and my brother, we sit and talk about wrestling all day. And one day we were sitting there. This is probably a couple of days after I seen Wheezy on there. I'm like, okay, a young lady's doing this and she's loving it. And she's doing everything that she wants to do. She's seeing everything. And it turned into me just going to search on TikTok, like different people. Like, okay, there's a whole bunch of people that do this. Let's get into this. And I was talking to my brother privately, and he was the one that pushed me towards it. He was like, hey, you need to start making videos on wrestling because you got a lot of opinions. You got a lot of things you like to talk about when it comes to wrestling. Just put it out there and see what happens. And it was just the luck of the draw that it actually fell into my lap the way it did. I try to make it my own, because the one thing I do notice about the IWC, something happens, everybody reacts. So there are times where something big may happen and you will see me in the background like, okay, you guys could talk about that, but let's look at this right here, just to keep it fresh, keep it something different going, because I know 7 people probably talked about the same thing on the same video, and what they're saying is, I got a few people that I follow that I'm constantly on them like, yeah, I like what you're talking about, and I want to bring something different. So like when I seen Wheezy's content, I just thought it was awesome. I thought it was amazing. And I'm like, hey, I think I can do that. I'm still learning how to do the editing and stuff like that. I'm not the best at it, but it's just fun. It's fun. It's a fun outlet. Get off work, sit down, relax. Something pops in your head, a couple of questions. I think I have like my Apple Notes is full of things to make videos on. So it's like just getting it out, and it's pretty fun.
I think that's the best part of wrestling content too, is like it's endless, and a lot, there's so much in the subjective side of it. When was the moment, like, because I know that for JPJ and I'm going to speak for you a little bit on this, doing this show for 3 years, there's been things that have worked, been things that haven't worked. When did you realize, like, okay, these are the types of videos that are going to hit? Did you have some trial and error early on, or was it just like always this and we're hitting the ground running? Or
no, my early videos, they were questions, but they were more like questions to see if someone else thought like me. So it was more of me asking, hey, who is your favorite heel in the business right now? It was very low key, just kind of like putting the fillers out there. To the content that I do now, I was scrolling on Instagram and I'm sitting here like, yo, there's a lot of wrestlers out here that people may think the other one may be better than. Let's kind of tweak this a little bit.
Make it more thought-provoking.
Make it more thought-provoking. And then that's when my views and my followers started keeping up with me and getting larger, is when I was able to get into that realm. So in the beginning, it was slow. I didn't know exactly where I wanted to be in the wrestling space. I know most of my content is primarily WWE based. I do let me say it like this. Growing up, I was only exposed to WWE. I didn't really know about the New Japans. I didn't know about the other indie promotions that were out there at the time. It was mainly WWE, WCW, and that's who I seen. Then as I got to this platform, I started seeing more people talking about, TNA, AEW, the guys that are in AEW now when they were just doing their thing in the indies and in Japan and things like that. So it kind of opened my eyes to that. So I still talk about WWE because that's the product that I know. But I do know wrestlers come and go and they go to other promotions. So my eyes do gravitate over there. Sometimes I can't keep up with what's going on.
There's a lot.
Trying to watch that much wrestling in
it's
a week
is
a lot.
It's hard.
It's hard. Like I even want to sit here and be like, yo, you guys gotta tell me what time this stuff comes on. Like I don't see it's not visible to me if I don't know what time it comes on. Like I catch AEW here and there. I do catch a lot more WWE content, but I still don't know where to watch New Japan. I can barely get a hold of TNA. ROH just here and there. It used to come on after SmackDown on Fridays on Fox. And now I don't know when it comes on. So yeah.
ROH is on right now. They love to counter program this show.
They do.
Really?
Program us.
They think they saw that we were on Thursdays and they wanted a piece of the pie.
Yeah. Honestly.
A gateway, if you really want to know, like Impact TNA, if you sign up for their membership, it's like $1.49 a month and you get all the weekly shows after they air.
Okay.
You don't get the pay-per-views, but it's a nice little dip into if you wanted to try it and be like, it's not for me. New Japan, I think it's still on New Japan World. But I don't, like you said, there's only so much time in the day, which brings me to another great question. And how do you balance this? That's been a big topic I've noticed with a lot of content creators on TikTok or Twitter lately, or X, whatever you want to call it. The discourse of how do you balance, as you grow this thing and you're seeing the success rise and realizing now there's a standard. How do I keep up with it? How do you balance that with your just everyday life?
I don't do it every day. That's how I balance it. I do most of my content in bunches. So you will see some of my content where I'm wearing the same outfit. But I knock out maybe like 6 or 7 videos and I systematically put them out. I usually put out my videos around like 9 o'clock in the morning, let them float out there. Next day, 9 o'clock in the morning, let it flow out there. But sometimes I need that refresher. Because it was a question to myself, like, dude, how are you guys on this thing every day? Like, how do you do it to where you're not burnt out? So I may go away for a week. A video that you see me put up on Monday, you might not see me again until Monday. So, and with having kids and work and my fiance and things, it's just I have to make sure at all times family comes first. But my fiance knows this is my outlet. So she's very supportive of it. So when I do get a chance to, she lets me go off into my little corner. Hey, go ahead and do your videos. We're upstairs. We're not going to worry about it. But there are times where I just have to take a break. It helps me balance out, keeps my mental good. Mental health it's everything, because you can get on here and let somebody say one bad thing one day and it can destroy everything you got going on for a week. So
100% for sure.
The IWC can be a brutal place sometimes.
And before I make this point, I have to stop. Speaking of supportive people, Mrs. Pluggo's in the house, the wifey. She says, "Welcome, Hell Scoob. Happy birthday, JPJ."
Hello,
Mrs. Pluggo. Speaking of corner, she lets me go, and this is my corner. She lets me go in.
And
this is it right here. That's all I get. You're looking at it, guys. But I think go ahead, JPJ.
No, I was going to say you need those people in your life that are supportive of things like that, because if the three of us didn't, then I probably wouldn't be able to sit in this room for 2 hours tonight absolutely. And stream tomorrow afternoon playing MLB The Show for 3 hours. You know what I mean? Like, you need to have those people in your life that support you, and they know, like, this is his time where he gets to do his like you said, your outlet, like he gets to do his stuff, and I support that. And like that balance is important too, because if you don't have that balance, it's going to start feeling like a job, and it's going to start feeling like Oh,
Yeah,
I have to do this.
that's-
I
yeah.
have to watch Dynamite tonight.
Yep.
I'm not, you know what? I don't feel like sitting here for 3 hours watching Raw, even though every Monday I do because I love this shit. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm kind of,
But
I
there
don't
are
feel like
days.
watching it,
There
but
are
I
days
have
where you're
to
like,
because, you know,
yeah.
and if you start doing it like that, eventually it's going to be a negative mindset. It's going to be a negative
Absolutely.
thing for you. And then that passion's going to go away and everybody's going to notice it. And you know what I mean? So like that balance that you mentioned is like super important. And like the videos that you create, a lot of them, they're quick little, you know, 45-second, 1 minute questions like that, or like to get the minds moving. Like you can take a, you know, an hour or two and bust out 10 of them if you want, you know what I mean? And like, cool. All right. My next week and a half is all set. So I can spend time with my family or go on vacation for the weekend or go do my real life shit. Even though I love this stuff, I'm good. I got it set up, you know?
You have to find that happy medium.
Yeah.
You have to find it. Like I find myself Sunday nights and sometimes Wednesdays to where I'm looking at my calendar for work because I'm an engineer. I do work at home still too. So it's like, okay, I don't have any meetings this night. I could do everything then. Or Sunday night comes and I know it's a fresh week and maybe some stuff may have happened in the world of wrestling, some news or anything like that. And I could throw that, a little snippet of that into my video, start my video off with that. And then you guys know what comes next. Let's play a game. You know, and then we're here. And it's just, it keeps me grounded because I don't want to get to a point to where I lose the passion for it myself and I'm just throwing out the content just to be doing it.
Yep.
So,
I think we've all been there. I've done that where I've had weeks where I knew I just wasn't feeling it and then I'm just posting to post and then I realized like that's not me.
Yeah.
There's no, you know, what am I doing? So it's better sometimes to just not post and get yourself right. And I like that. That's I don't know how. So one of these videos, you said, you know, 45 seconds to a minute usually. How long does it take though, like per that day to make one? Because of all, that's the thing. That's the other thing. This IWC, sometimes I don't think they realize that, yes, it's easy to come on and talk and do a video. It looks easy, but the behind the scenes
product, you see a finished product of 40 seconds on TikTok, and it's very easy for people to go.
Are you
took a minute to do this and blah blah blah? And it's like,
no, I wish. I wish if you guys could see my blooper reel. You would see just a whole. It is ridiculous. Like you would just hear me. I'm like, I would look at myself in the camera, like, nah, I didn't like the way I looked at right there. Let me start this over, or. Nah, I shouldn't have said it like that. Or I go have a brain fart because I'm doing the little graphics above my head and I'm not seeing anything. I just have to remember what order I put everybody in and might get to Braun Strowman and be like, gotta start it over. Gotta start it over. So no, it would take a few takes. I've done a few with that one take and it's just awesome. I've had equipment malfunctions where I've done a whole 2.5 minute video. Went to go look at it, no audio. I'm like, dude, that was the best take.
It was so good.
No audio. So it happens. It happens to the best of us. That's kind of like the fun part, to be able to laugh at yourself when you go back and look at these things. But now I got an idea. I may put out these blooper reel and just you guys can see behind the scenes.
There you go.
Why not?
We're making magic here. The Hell Scoob blooper reel.
I'm laughing at myself.
Well, like we've done this. We've done some pre-record stuff for some other shows and some other projects, and it's just like start over. Shit. What were we thinking?
I did a whole 15-minute interview once, and I forgot to hit record.
Oh, but that was the best.
So I had to tell the person I did the interview with, like, hey, that was great.
Speaking of
none of it, didn't get any of it. Let's
let's
redo this all over again. Yeah. So stuff happens, Stuff happens.
Or my favorite in interviews is when you pre-record one and you miss like one little detail, but it's a big detail that kind of skews your whole interview. Then you have to go tail between the legs and be like, hey, listen, can I get you for another 15 minutes to re-record that? Because I had
B-roll.
I had the lineage of the title reign wrong, and that's the whole basis of the interview. So you got to be able to laugh at yourself in this space, though. Like that's
gotta have fun. It has to be fun. Once it stopped being fun, you just might as well hang it up and just watch other people do it.
Yeah,
I agree.
But right now, I'm having fun. I'm having fun. I'm an old man having fun talking about wrestling.
There it is. There it is. And
You said an old man. Come on now.
I'm 41, man.
No way. Get out of
Yes.
here.
I could not.
1982, buddy.
I'm 85. I just turned 39. I'm 40 now. I got one more year, and then I'm 40. I would have sworn you were 5 or 6 years younger than me. I could have sworn.
No, 1982.
Yeah, you look amazing for 41.
41. I'm gonna be 42 in December, man.
Wow. You do not look it, my friend.
Yeah,
so you should feel good about that. I feel like I look 50 now.
Whatever you're taking every day, I'm gonna come. We're practically neighbors. I'm gonna come over and get some.
Hey, I got some for you. This is just everyday wake up go. It's just just wake up go. Like sure. I find myself not stressing about a lot of stuff. Like I've been told I'm a laid back person, and like some people would like, well, you can light a fire into somebody. I'm just gonna look at you like, okay, I'm a Sagittarius, so I will get it done when I get it done.
It's fair. It's fair. Oh man,
is there anything in the wrestling world that gets you fired up? Or I mean, we could go down life. Obviously, I think we all get fired up to an extent in life stuff. But wrestling, is there anything that you're ever like? You're like, nope, I'm standing on business for this one.
No,
I
can say no.
Oh, okay.
I can say no because when I look at wrestling as a product as a whole, I know certain things are going to happen. We all know some things are predictable. It's the nature of the beast. But to get riled up or get fired up about it, I think I kind of stay monotone. But I would say this Roman reign, I had my highs and lows there, buddy.
Oh yeah,
okay. Yeah, I think so did we. Yeah,
I think that's the only thing that lately that's been like, dude, I got to see it next week. I got to see what's going on. Oh my God, what is this right here? Why are we doing this? And pay-per-view, sometimes I can get loud. I don't know about riled up, but I can get loud. Like it happens.
Like excited for the match or pissed that the pay-per-view was bad or
excited for matches. I am a big storyteller in the wrestling world. I love story. And I love when a match has a story. I want to see that progression. And I think that's what Roman started to master, is that when he started wrestling, you saw that build up.
Mm-hmm.
And he's entertaining you that whole way through. And then you started noticing that, okay, he got me. I'm locked in. He's talking to me as he's wrestling. He got me. And I think that kind of spoiled us a little bit because he's not here now. And it's like we're all looking for it still.
Isn't it funny that we've been seeing on SmackDown? We want Roman chants and signs, and we were trying to get rid of him for so long.
Yeah.
And now that he's gone, and everybody's like, bring him back.
It's almost like they planned it that way because when he comes back, he's going to be a giant baby face when he comes back. Like, I think that's what they do. He's going to reunite the Usos, and he's going to probably take on Solo, like the new bloodline that's forming here with Solo and Tama Tonga. I think we'll probably see a Jacob Fatu soon, and then
I hope we do.
I think we can even see him on Saturday. I know we're going to talk a little bit about Backlash here in a few minutes, but I think there's a chance we see him on Saturday in that tag match potentially.
There's one thing that us as wrestling fans, we take a lot of things for granted.
Mm-hmm.
We take a lot of things for granted. And I think Roman was one of the things we took for granted.
100%.
And when I say we all sat here and we didn't like it at a point, and we knew he was just great. It's kind of like he's like the LeBron of wrestlers. Like he's great, but we want to hate on him really bad. He's great, but I don't like him when he's doing this. So it's like now that he's gone, it's like that void has not been filled yet. I know it's early. I know it's early in Cody's reign. I am happy he finished his story. I just want to be engaged the way I was for almost 4 years.
So you mentioned that your GOAT is one Randall Keith Orton.
Absolutely.
I think so. Obviously, Cody's fighting AJ, which I'm excited about that match, which we'll dive into here. But I think we're going to be engaged with Cody once your hero drops him with an RKO, which should happen at some point because of the history. That should be the SummerSlam.
You know he wanted to do it at Mania.
That should be the SummerSlam.
I was going to say that. Yes.
You know,
He
he's
should have
looking
done it
up
at
at
Mania.
him
Yes,
like,
when they had him on the shoulders at Mania, he should have just
Mhm.
dropped him right there.
All we needed
should
was
have just done it.
this.
And then everyone would have been like, oh my. Because yes, we've been waiting 2 years for Cody to get that moment, but we've been watching Randy Orton for 25 years. We know
Yep.
how Randy Orton operates. He does what he
Yep.
needs to do to succeed.
Apex Predator.
Apex Predator. And guess what? Dropping him at that moment, in the moment, we all would have been like, oh my God.
Oh,
what
that's
the
Randy.
hell? Yeah, but we all would have said, well, it's Randy Orton. What do
That's
you
Randy.
think? Dude?
To
I've seen him
start
break
that
into people's
program,
houses, for crying out loud. You know?
absolutely. To start that program, that would have been amazing. But I do see him. I think they're going to play it out to where he's going to turn. He's a baby face right now.
Oh yeah.
But he's kind of like that anti-hero baby face still. You know,
Yeah.
he can
Mhm.
snap at a drop of a dime. But he's going to run across Cody, and you know he's going to have to be legend killer Randy
Mhm.
Orton. He's going to have to be that monster when it comes out. And I'm ready
100%.
for it. I'm here
Oh, yeah.
for it if it happens.
I was praying, and I'm a big Cody mark. Like I was screaming for a year that they should have gave it to Cody last year. But
Oh, yeah.
like I'm waiting for that moment because that's the feud. Like I truly think that will be the first Cody feud that we get. I mean, obviously not the first Cody feud we might see, but that's going to be the first one where I think there's going to be like some real juice behind it because of the history that they have. And it's just going to be like, Cody was the one that brought Randy back at War Games. You know what I mean? Like it was Cody that did that. I just think there's so much story there that when it eventually happens, which I'm hoping selfishly it's sooner than later, that I think that's going to be the
I can see
story.
that program just cooking the whole way
Oh,
through.
it should be the whole
I
summer,
can
man.
see
I
it.
think the whole summer,
All
you have
summer,
the
let's go.
culmination at SummerSlam, and it's like, damn, dude, let's go.
Because
Let's
like
go.
even if we think about it from Randy's side of it, like he's kind of cooled off a little bit, and he's kind of like I think we've kind of forgotten about this fight for this.
Well, I mean, he's Randy Orton.
Because his return has been, it's almost like he's just excited to be back. He's been happy, he's been having more fun, joking, fun. We need to see that sadistic side of him again. And then Cody's the perfect white meat baby face that they all, we all know and love. So that would be great.
We need 09 Randy Orton again.
If we can get Ted DiBiase Jr. back out of prison.
Oh, he's dealing with some legal issues.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he might not be able
He's
to
in some trouble right now.
Trouble. Maybe we can maybe he can get out on work release or something.
Yeah, work release on Friday
Got a
night.
promo.
Hey, we just need it for an hour. Fly him down.
He's like, Nick, can you sign my sheet? I got to get back.
Yeah, I gotta give me the stamp. I gotta get back.
I gotta get back.
But
that would be that's the feud. I think you got to go with it. I think it's a money feud for Cody. Yeah,
because listen,
and the thing is, like, if you think about, granted, they'll figure out a way to tell good stories. I have confidence in Triple H right now in the product, but that's the story. I don't think there's another story right now that you could tell with anybody else on the roster but Randy that would be close to Roman-esque storytelling. Unless I'm missing somebody.
We can always get a heel KO to come out of nowhere.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Just any program he's in, it catches fire.
Yep.
It catches fire. As it being on the level of Randy and Cody is there, but I don't think it's above it. It's there. Mm-hmm. Anybody else? I can't think of anybody else right now.
What I think we're kind of in the middle of with this card, and I'm excited about Backlash on Saturday. There's only 5 matches booked, but I think I'm looking forward to all 5 of these matchups and things like that. Like I think it's going to be a really good show. But I think what happened was we finished so many big stories at this WrestleMania. This felt like a WrestleMania where it really felt like the culmination of the last. So many stories ended WrestleMania, and then I felt like this pay-per-view was put together with a lot of, they're wrestling to become the number 1 contender for this belt. They're wrestling to become the number 1 contender. There was a lot of that. So these matches, even though I think the stories have been pretty good leading into Backlash, I do feel like it was a lot of matchups that were just kind of thrown together because we have a pay-per-view coming up in 4 weeks. We need to, and then there was a draft in the middle of it. They're doing all these new titles and belts, and
they're doing too much.
Yeah, so it feels like I almost feel like once we get through Backlash, we're gonna see stories progress with like them thinking of like, okay, we have SummerSlam in 2 or 3 months. Let's build some long-term stories now to get us to these big matches at SummerSlam in 3 months or something like that, you know? But with that being said, like I said, we got a couple of these matches on Backlash, I think are going to be really, really good. Like AJ Styles and Cody, first time ever matchup, never faced each other before. I really liked AJ and LA Knight at WrestleMania. I thought that match was really good for what it was. And like being a match that was put together, like AJ can still clearly, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world still. And I just think him and Cody are going to put on an absolute.
God, I forgot about Dirty Dom. I wanted to talk about that mustache.
I did. We can talk about the mustache. Dirty Sanchez. Are you talking about the Dirty Sanchez? Rey Mysterio.
Talk about a guy that just lucked out.
You know what? Yeah. We're going to pivot because Dom, two things I want to talk about Dom. One, the mustache. Filthy. Just a filthy mustache. And two,
it's amazing.
It is, but it's filthy amazing.
No, no.
If you walked by a regular person with that mustache, you would be saying shit in your brain after you walk by. You'd be like, oh my goodness. My goodness.
It screams heel.
Oh, yeah.
It screams heel.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm going to embrace what you guys have made me. Mustache.
Yeah. You don't see that and go, oh, I'm sure he's a perfectly normal good fella. You don't see
Absolutely.
That. You don't do that. But also, in the background of a Jey Uso backstage interview on Monday night, we saw Liv Morgan and Dom walking out of a locker room separately, one after the other, and I thought I was like, they're leaning into that.
No, people can just talk, JPJ.
Listen, I don't know what they did. This is not speculation. I'm just saying what I saw. What I saw was both of them leave a room. That's what I saw.
Speculate all day.
They gave enough distance and time in between each other. Like Liv, like I'm leaving now and count to 10, and then you walk out of here. Like that's what we're doing. All right. I think we're all old enough that we know when you're planning stuff like that, some shit went down. I don't know. But Liv Morgan did say that she was going to take everything from Rhea Ripley. And Dom.
How long is Rhea out?
I think it's going to be significant. I think they said SummerSlam at best. Maybe I thought I heard the report. Maybe
I can see this if done correctly. It can do what it needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
The time in between the little nuggets that they put in there until Rhea gets back, if they do not do this correctly, it can be like, why?
Yeah.
Like with Rhea being hurt, and you guys are still pushing this story, this narrative, it can get really scary really fast. Because now you got Dom hurt, so he's not really doing anything. So two of the key people in this storyline that they're trying to push, it can be good and it can be bad. Now you have to figure out a way to put the belt on Liv.
Absolutely.
It has to be on her.
Yes.
Did you like the decision to not have her get it at the Royal? Okay, at the Battle Royal.
No,
you didn't.
Would you?
I don't. Becky Hogan.
No!
Wait a minute. All right, all right. See, this is good. This is what I like. This is true.
Here's the thing.
I'll hear him out. I'll hear him out.
You have a great women's division, and you're scared to pull the trigger.
But that's not Becky's fault.
You sit. Listen.
Okay.
The 4 horsewomen, minus Mercedes right now because she's not there.
Yep.
Those are their go-to when they're scared something's not going to go right.
I think when they need a safe choice. When they need a safe choice.
It's not.
Becky was a safe choice.
It was a safe choice, but was it the right choice? No.
I personally would have gave it to Nia Jax. That's what I wanted.
I would have got it.
Because if Rhea's out for a while, Liv don't need to get it right away. You can continue to build up Liv because like she is a heel, but she really hasn't even like fully turned heel yet. You know what I mean? Like she's still high-fiving fans walking down to the ring. Like she's kind of, she's a heel when it comes to Rhea, but technically Rhea's a heel. She's just so popular that, you know what I mean? So I think I would have given it to Nia Jax. I think Nia has been
doing
excellent
some good work
since she's come back. Like excellent. She was essential to the Rhea Ripley story with Becky leading into Mania. Yes. I think that would have been a good thing, but yeah.
I think what I didn't like about them putting the belt on Becky is the fact that she lost clean at Mania.
Like a week before.
A week before.
Yeah.
You can tell that decision was, oh my God, we got to figure something out.
We got to.
It wasn't a hey, we have faith in our division. Let's go ahead and throw it on Becky.
Yeah.
So it kind of felt forced, but it is what it is. She's a great wrestler. I never take that away from anybody. If I talk negatively about someone, I'm not taking their ability to do something that I can't away from them.
Yeah.
Never look at it like that. It's just I feel that she could have been pushed to the back of the line. Hey, you go hang with family. Let them hold on to this real quick.
Because that was the rumor.
That was the rumor, was her and Seth were both taking time off.
Let's get these other wrestlers up and going. Let's build these superstars up instead of it being Becky, Charlotte, Bayley. You know, it's in that order. So it's like, come on.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I know that there was the discourse of like having Liv beat Becky means more than her winning it at the Battle Royal. So I was curious what your thoughts were. I like Becky Lynch a lot. She is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. So when people call her Becky Hogan, I'm like, well, she didn't book it. It's the WWE booking it.
She didn't book it. You are correct. But she didn't say no.
Are you going to say no?
Hey, I'm not in that situation.
Hey, you got to stand on business. Are you going to say no too?
No, I'm not gonna say no. I'll be like, hey, look, let's go ahead and do it. Let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and
you want to put the gold on me again? No.
I do see that argument though. Like, yes, if Liv wins the Battle Royal and wins the title, cool, she's the champ. But a couple months from now at Money in the Bank or at one of these shows, right? If she does beat Becky one-on-one for the title, I do think that's a bigger victory to become the champion than winning it at the Battle Royal. But I do feel like in the moment, I didn't like it. I was like, I would have given it to let Nia be a monster for a few months or something until Liv gets the best of her.
What you just said, do you think they would let Liv Queen of the Ring?
I think she has a chance. Yeah, I think she has a strong chance.
I don't know who's been announced for that yet.
No one.
The women.
No one.
Tiffany
Stratton has mentioned it on social media. She said she's going to go for it. I like what they're doing on the men's side with Gunther and Drew. They're making big people in there, which is nice.
I talked about this the other day. The Queen King of the Ring thing. I don't care who's in it. I don't care how you book it. All I want is it to matter. Whoever wins it, not just to give him a crown and a cape and call him Queen Zelina and Queen Corbin. Like, because I remember Corbin, like we were talking about his run in the King of the Ring tournament, like, oh, Baron Corbin's back. And then all of a sudden they were like, nah, we're not doing anything with it. So if you want to
remember who was booking then, though.
I know. And I'm hopeful and I'm trusting that Trips is going to do the right thing and make it mean something. So if you're going to give it to Liv, make that be a feather in her cap where she's like, I'm the Queen of the Ring. I'm challenging you, Becky, and then beating her.
And I think that's what should happen, because back in the day when the King of the Ring was around, when we were all growing up, the people that won, the dudes that won the King of the Ring, that meant that they were next. Stone Cold. Triple H himself won one. So if anything, Triple H being around at that time when the King of the Ring was like, oh, if you won the King of the Ring, you were like, maybe not next, but like you were on the radar of you're going to be fighting for world championships soon. It was almost like the Money in the Bank kind of, but back then, like that was the thing that propelled people to the next level.
Yep.
But the last, and again, like you said, it was being booked by a different individual who was no longer there for the better. Yeah. But the last handful of King of the Rings and Queen of the Rings, it's been a character change to them being a king or queen wearing a crown.
It was a gimmick.
Cape. And it's a gimmick. And like, that's what I don't want. Just say, hey, I'm the King of the Ring. I love that. We got the boss behind the curtain saying the King of the Ring challenged at SummerSlam.
I can't believe he said it that way. It's the SummerSlam.
SummerSlam. Yeah. But like, if you want to do something like that, like, I just think that's what the King of the Ring needs to be, and Queen of the Ring. Like, they need to be, whoever wins that needs to be next in line for a championship somewhere soon, make it actually matter.
I think Money in the Bank kind of ruined that next in line deal for a lot of things. Not saying that it's a bad idea. It's just back when we were younger, the IC title meant you were next in line.
Yep.
You were that guy that was coming for the champion. Now it's his own entity. So it's like, Okay, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Make it prestigious. And then once you lose it, maybe you'll be considered. But, but now they need to make a lot of things mean something.
Yeah.
I think AEW was on to something, trying to make wins and losses mean something. They're not executing it really well.
No,
not
But
at all.
it was a good idea because now you're vested into, hey, this match is going to put me here. It's going to move me around. So King and Queen of the Ring has to be in that tournament format, and it has to mean something at the end. It just can't be you being King Booker, you just can't do it.
King Booker.
Something else.
Yeah, 100%.
I miss King Booker.
He was awesome.
He was awesome. King Booker.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
So what would you guys put on it? If it was your show and you're like Queen and King of the Rings, you get.
I think they should get a world title match, to be honest with you. If you're the king and the queen of the ring,
yeah,
you deserve to be fighting for a world championship. That to me, and I don't think that's a bad thing. You have the Royal Rumble at the beginning of the year that guarantees you a shot at Mania. You have the King of the Ring after Mania in the middle of the year, that May-June era. Why can't that guarantee you a world title shot at SummerSlam or at Money, whatever?
Yeah, one of the pay-per-views.
Yeah, one of the pay-per-views. Like, there's no problem with that. I see no problem with that whatsoever. I think that is what it should be, because when I was a kid, dude, I fucking loved the King of the Ring. I loved it. It was one of my favorite things. Because I know we're way over 10 minutes, but that was my first F-bomb, and I'm trying to be good. It's my birthday.
The first time all weekend. For the first time in 150 episodes.
I know. I'm usually just like I'm just going nuts. But I'm trying to be good.
You're changing us, Scoob. You're changing us.
I'm trying to be good.
Be laid back and chill.
But yeah, like the King of the Ring, dude. I love that. I loved the King of the Ring, and yeah, like you said, Pluggo at the jump. I just want it to matter again. And I think putting stakes, obviously the stakes are you get to be the king and the queen of the ring. But if you put even more stakes to it, and like I said, on the men's side, they're doing a good job. Drew McIntyre going for it, Gunther going for it. Those are big time guys. And the fact that they are going for the King of the Ring, Sheamus as well, I think is going in there too. Like the fact that those two guys and Sheamus are going for the King of the Ring means that if your top guys and girls want it, it's going to automatically mean a lot to the natural fan, because you're going to be like, oh damn, Gunther was just the greatest intercontinental champion of all time, and now he wants to be King of the Ring. That must matter.
It can't be predictable. It can't be predictable. I want you to put Gunther and Drew against each other, so people will be like, oh my god, who is actually going to win this? You can't put one star that you feel is bigger than the other. And then you automatically know Gunther's going to win. I want it to be on an even playing field. Oh, okay, let's go.
And doesn't this start tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, or next week?
Qualifying matches?
Yeah, it starts pretty quick because
I would think is it tomorrow before Backlash? They wouldn't wait till after Backlash to do
maybe it's after. Maybe it's the week after
Backlash.
It's coming up. It's coming up. That's all I know. But yeah, I think you're right. I think you guys are right. We need some stakes. We need some heavy hitters all throughout, because that predictability isn't bad all the time. But in tournament play, I think predictability is bad in tournament play, where you're like, these people are going to be in the finals, so you don't have to pay attention to the rest.
Yeah, and you gotta strategically do it right. Like you get eight of your best guys, 8 of your best girls, but like get an upset or two in there, a big upset or two in the first round, or whatever. You make it feel like anything can happen as well, because if you're gonna get back to doing this yearly, if you're gonna say, hey, one of the shows we're doing in Saudi every June, that's gonna be the new king and queen of the ring, like that's back. It is okay. Well, you can establish this as a must-see event moving forward by kind of what you do with it and how much you care about it. And I think that's what we want to see.
Before we dive into Backlash, I meant to ask you this earlier.
Me or
Scoob?
Yeah,
I know everything there is to know about you, JPJ. I've been doing this for Why Scoob? Why Scooby? Why of all of the old school cartoon characters, we grew up in the same era, so I know all the classics too. Why Scoob? Yeah,
because it's just Scoob. No,
fair enough.
One, it's a nickname that kind of stuck with me because Scoob has been my favorite cartoon since childhood.
Okay.
And it's just been what everybody called me. I have Scooby-Doo tattoos.
Nice.
Nice. Okay.
I have like this tote full of Scooby-Doo memorabilia, and it just kind of stuck with me. So it's kind of like all of my usernames and everything else always been Scoob, some way, somehow.
Love it. We got Darren Amazing saying, I can't wait for Heel Tom and Heel Jerry. That's a good joke.
Maybe you'll start the movement of like old school Hanna-Barbera cartoons, or
Yeah.
I used to love Scooby-Doo, man.
I don't
back
have
in
the
the day.
munchies or anything like that. I don't need a Scooby snack.
You don't have it. You don't
You
have
don't
a
need a Scooby snack or anything like that?
Are we ever going to get a Heel Scrappy?
Oh, you'll see him in a couple of videos. My son is always trying to get in my videos, and I got to show him off a little bit. He's 3, so it's like, hey,
that's
doing
awesome.
something right now. So he's going to probably jump in a couple of them. He's going to probably be the one to say, let's play a game. I thought about this. So
that'd be very cool.
It'll be pretty fun. It'll be pretty fun.
That'll be
my son, sometimes surprised he hasn't yet. Knock on wood, run down here and upset JPJ on his birthday.
No, that's not true. I love kids. I love kids.
But
Owen tests my patience.
Owen will test his patience. He'll come down here and he'll be like,
before we usually hang out for 15, 20 minutes on a good night, a half hour. This kid he's a good kid. He's like 4. Like he's a kid, but this kid is a friggin' terror. The terror. I'm just sitting here talking to Pluggo, and this kid's just hitting things, screaming, knocking things over.
Oh, he ain't that.
Making fun of me. Making fun of me all the time.
JPJ, you suck. What? What?
All the time. I'm like,
get out of here.
Jeez, you're 4.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. Kids will always, they'll humble you. They don't care. There's no filter on kids. They'll tell you exactly what they
absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
my son is.
I respect.
I tell my fiance all the time, like, you just gave birth to an asshole.
Yeah,
Dude, he doesn't care. He says exactly what he's going to say, and you just got to either take it or try to fight him in the front yard. You got to figure it out.
Like I tell everybody, man, I love my kids. I'd kill for my kids. They are my life, but they suck. Sometimes they're the worst people I've ever came across. Yeah. But I love them with my entire heart, and I would do anything for them. But man, leave me alone sometimes.
Yeah.
But no,
my son is the youngest out of my. I got 4 girls, and they range from 23 down to 11, and he's the one that runs everybody. Yeah. So
there you go.
It's pretty fun, because my older girls, they don't like me. I'm the evil dad now. So
that's fair.
It's the fun part of things.
Girls are tough. I'm the evil dad for my teenage daughter as well, and I'm like, I didn't even do anything wrong. Yeah, but that's not how she sees it. Do any of your kids gravitate towards wrestling? Have any of them like found that passion? Like you said, you found it growing up with your younger brother, and then
not a passion for it, but my 11-year-old daughter, she sees Bianca, and when I say it brings me joy that there's representation on our screen that could let someone know that they can do it. She's like in gymnastics and everything, but she knows I watch wrestling all the time. And she's like, if she comes downstairs, she'd be like, is the one with the braid on? And then I'm like, no. And then she'll just take off. And then like, she'll see her, like I've seen her just stop mid motion. Bianca's on the screen. She's into it. Yeah. She's watching it. Other than that, she goes about her business. Yeah. My son, he's at that age where he's very impressionable. He calls it fight. He doesn't call it wrestling. He calls it fight. So it catches attention for a little bit, and then he's gone about his business too. So, but they all know Dad is a wrestling fan, and he's gonna either go to a show or he's gonna be watching it at home. So
heck yeah.
And I would say, like, you talk about representation and stuff like that. Like now you have Jade.
Absolutely
showing up here looking like a superhero. Bianca looks like that match at WrestleMania with Naomi, Jade, and Bianca. That's 3 badass, powerful black women.
Can I just say,
just kicking ass all over that ring?
Are so much fun together.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I went to the house show in Fort Wayne, and I took my son, and like it looked like those 3 were having the time of their lives being together. And then like the WrestleMania press conferences and everything, like I love those 3 together. I think they're so.
It is awesome to see, and my daughters, they love it. They love it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's just because we grew up in that time where it wasn't really favorable for women in wrestling. They were objectified. They were looked at as something as eye candy. And to see us get to a point now to where they are able to showcase their skills, they're able to get in that ring with the best of them and show that they actually are more than what anyone could ever have thought. So it's like right now I'm really following Jada Parker.
Oh, she's
NXT.
great. She's great.
Her attitude, her charisma, it's just gravitating. You know, Tiffy Stratton, like, dude, it's just seeing them able to get that time on screen.
Yeah.
And I don't, you see people, oh, they only had a 3-minute match or this and another. Listen, I can tell you, this is way better than what we used to get.
Yeah, the old 2-minute matches that weren't even.
I would take a 3-minute.
The first minute was just arguing, and then now there's some actual stakes to it and stuff. Yeah.
And like I would make an argument like nowadays to people, like I've seen Chelsea Green have 2 or 3 minute matches over the last 6 months that have put Chelsea Green more over than she was before the match started. So do most of them probably want to go out there and get more than 3 or 4 minutes? Yeah, I would assume they would. But if you get 3 or 4 minutes, maximize your time, maximize your minutes, do the best you can. And like someone like a Chelsea Green, who's not known for her in-ring technique and things like that, like she'll have a match that, where she gets rolled up in the first minute and a half, but she does it in the Chelsea Green way that gets her over. And now the next time you see her, she's fighting for a championship on NXT on Tuesday night.
And
you know what I mean?
We as wrestling fans have to also remember they're on a time crunch too. Like I seen an interview recently with Jay when they asked him about him and his brother's match at WrestleMania. He said it sucked, just like I did. But they were supposed to get 15 to 20 minutes. They ended up getting 10. Yeah. So a lot of it was cut out. So it does happen to the women too, where maybe their match is supposed to go 7-8 minutes, and then something happens inside the show. You might have The Rock on there. He's long-winded. He takes up 45 minutes that he
long-winded is an understatement.
So it happens that way. But I would love to see them on the screen more. The way the women are in wrestling right now is amazing. I'm not just talking about WWE. I am talking about as a whole. It's just crazy to see the athleticism, the drive for it, and to see where they can go with it. Like, is a big wrestling fan, and she loves it.
That's awesome. How I know that it's been progressing in the right direction is we're big PWI top 500 top with the women's 250. It used to be 50. Now they had to put a 250 out because there's so many talented women in the wrestling space. And that's super cool that your daughter like stops and sees that. Like, it's really cool to see. Like, my wife loves to stop and watch the wrestlers. My daughter pays a little bit of attention too, and she likes to see the women's wrestlers as well. So it's super cool to see that on the screen for them, because it's a male dominated sport. So we've got plenty of representation out there for, people like us, but for them to have the women getting some time, and a lot of times those women's storylines are more compelling.
Absolutely.
Like that Rhea title run was better than some, one of the best that we've seen in a long time. And
she made Judgment Day. I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
I watched Judgment Day for Rhea.
I think that was like Edge's thing at the beginning. Yeah. And there's Finn Balor in there, Damian Priest, some heavy hitters, and Rhea's outshined all of them.
She's outshining them all.
Yeah, and I think there's a neat little angle they can do here with this Liv stuff that, like, I think by the time Rhea comes back, whenever she's healthy to come back, they could play it in a way where, like, Liv has basically dismantled the Judgment Day while Rhea's been gone. You know what I mean? Or like she's been like, kind of like, a Yoko Ono to the Beatles with her and Dom is going to kind of like cause a problem amongst the Judgment Day before Rhea comes back. They're going to be like, Dom, what the hell's going on here? We're seeing this stuff. Yeah. What's happening?
Dom's been wild lately, man.
Oh, bro, Dom. And then Rhea comes back, and Rhea is also going to come back as a mega baby. Like, the crowd is going to go gaga when she finally comes back, right?
You can't forget Jey Uso in the background with Rhea. Like, you can't forget that's happening too.
Yeah, like
has wrestling gotten a little bit more thirsty lately? If anybody noticed,
I would say, and this is one of the things I've actually kind of liked
tell
in
Rhea, I said,
in
hey,
the presentation upgrades over these last few months
It's been amazing.
Yes, and there is more adult. Like, look at it's still a kid show. I get it. Wrestling is for everybody. It's for kids too. But like, I kind of like being now a 39-year-old dude. I like to see some adult stuff on the wrestling show where all the wrestlers are adults. You know what I mean? Like, not everything always has to be geared for. So like kind of like, yeah, the little lean-ins on like potential romances or adult themes. I think that's been refreshing. Obviously the camera shots and all the
camera shots have been
incredible.
great.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I've noticed that they actually filled in the hard cam side. You know, you still got your hard cam over there, but they're filling that in with fans. So they're intertwining the fans into the presentation more. So they're doing those zoom out shots to where you see the whole arena.
And that
it just looks good.
Yeah, and it makes it feel so bigger. It makes it feel so much bigger and so much. That one little shot, they come back from a commercial and you got the camera in like one of the walkways and you can see the whole arena and it's full. It's just such a different style of presentation that they just didn't do before. They never.
It makes
showed
it feel like this isn't a niche thing.
They almost never showed the crowd before like that. You know what I mean? They would show reactions of people in the crowd to big things, but they never just showed the crowd like that. And it's like, dude, like if you're selling out 16,000 arenas, show the people. Show
it's more of a sports presentation now.
Yes, big time.
It's more, although they're going away from that sports entertainment era of things and calling it sports entertainment, they have embraced the sport side of it.
Yes,
based on presentation.
Yeah,
and it feels refreshing. It feels good. Some of those camera angles, I'm sitting here like, yo, why haven't they done this before? And you remember back in the day when they used to have the little cameraman next to the ringside, a couple of camera guys.
Oh yeah,
I missed that. That felt real. It felt like I was watching a boxing match going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you had press or something on the side.
They would do that all the time, and then they would play it into angle. I remember a fireball getting shot at Hulk Hogan at King of the Ring, actually, where Yoko beat. Like they would play it into certain. Sometimes the cameraman would be dressed up. One of them would be dressed up as a wrestler would be dressed up, and it made it feel like you watch all those big boxing matches, and the ring is always littered with cameramen, like at the bottom of the ring, trying to find those right shots,
trying to right angles.
And it would make the show feel that way. I think the presentation since Kevin Dunn kind of left with Vince has been like,
absolutely.
It's like, why the hell we have all, and again, we're all in our late 30s or early 40s. We're around the same age here, all three of us. We have been watching wrestling presented to us one way, the same way for so long. And now you look at the shows and you see everything, and it's just like,
have you noticed that the frantic cutscenes have stopped?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that used to give me a headache.
We
were talking earlier. What put me like get under my skin under me in a rage? It will probably be that.
I watch older stuff with my son. Like I'll put on just whatever because he's super into it now. And it'll just even be a couple years back because I want him to recognize the people on the screen. And I'm like, how did we ever sit through this?
They'll do like 60-something camera cuts in a 30-second time frame, and you're like, bro, like what are we like? Let it just breathe, will you?
I think it started getting ridiculous when they were doing so many camera cuts during like Royal Rumble or whatever. You know, when Kofi had his little moments, they missed a couple of them because they were in the wrong camera. Like, it was like, what are you guys doing?
They missed it. They missed Edge's spear on his return. The dude hadn't been there for 9 years. He comes back and they missed the first thing he did.
Yeah.
This is
what are you doing?
This is kind of out of. I've been listening to the Lonely Island SNL podcast, and they talk a lot about how sometimes with the live shots, if you miss a cue, if you miss a second, like it just blows the whole spot, and how hard it is, even in that little bit of an intimate setting. But I can't imagine like how hard that must be. Like Kevin is like, shoot this way, shoot that one at camera 2, camera 3, go back, and you just miss things, and then it blows.
It makes you appreciate it, though. It makes you appreciate it that they slowed down. Hey, let's give this product the time to actually do what it needs to do. AEW is pretty good at that. Their presentation is very slow paced in the sense of them cutting away from certain things. They still focus on that hard cam a lot, but you see more of the product happen than you just. I'm like, dude, come on.
They're getting It's weird to think as wrestling fans, we're just like, oh, this is so nice. It's like letting it breathe. I think Sean Ross Sapp, I think at one point when it was really bad, said that he like counted in like 1 5-minute match. There was like almost 100 camera cuts.
Yeah.
That's 20 a minute.
That is ridiculous.
Like, what are you doing here? So yeah, and AEW is starting to figure out how to shoot their arena better and make it. There's still some awkward, like every once in a while, the cameraman shoots the ceiling. Like, where did that come from? What are you doing? But they're getting better over there. Speaking of that, real quick before we get, because I know we're pushing time. You said you're not a big AEW follower. You keep up on it. Maybe as an outsider, I wanted to talk about this because we were here last week. We sat here on the draft. He wore a neck brace. It was the best moment of the NFL draft. I thought he's working the boys such goodwill. Then he goes on the NFL Network the next day and puts his foot in his mouth and says the WWE is the Weinsteins of wrestling. And I just have to say, maybe from an outsider, what do you think about all of those? I really thought that was an ill-timed shot. I'm okay with shots in wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
I just thought you have a shot. You're on the NFL Network, a new audience, a chance to put yourself over to new people,
take a shot at
and you go that route, which I thought was silly. What do you think about that?
What's very dangerous about that? We've seen that play out before,
Mm-hmm.
and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, my boy
WCW did the same exact thing, and you see where it got them.
Yeah.
AEW as their own entity should not, I wouldn't say not pay attention to WWE, because you're going to pay attention. It's your sport. You need to see what's going on. Right. But it's not for you to take a shot at the other company every time you get a chance. Even WWE is guilty of this.
Yeah.
To where, you're taking little shuttle shots. Cool. But when you start doing it to where it seems like you're trying to knock the other company that is over there, it gets kind of cringy. And Tony Khan does that a lot, to where, like the CM Punk video thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was horrible. That was you trying to get ratings for what? To put CM Punk even further over, because he didn't lie about what happened. He said he told us already what happened. Right. What was the point of the video?
It was pretty spot on for the most part. Maybe a few things here and there, but you're
obviously he exaggerated a few, but like nothing.
Yeah, but no gotcha moment.
Exactly. Like me, if you were going to show that video, there had to be damning evidence that what he said was bullshit.
Me audio. That's what I said. I wanted the audio.
I will say though, I know. I will say though, in the moment that it happened, I felt the same way that you did, Scoob. I was like, that didn't feel right to me. Now, a couple weeks later, I think that video was 100% to get over Jack Perry. Looking at it now.
Makes sense.
And I think that's who got the best. If anybody got positive stuff from them showing that footage, it was 100% Jack Perry. Like, for what they've done now with it, like, I can understand why somebody can look back at that and go, you know what? In the moment, I didn't agree with them showing the footage, but now I think it kind of worked a little bit for the Jack Perry angle.
The AEW to me, I like I said, I watch it here and there. I'm not like an avid watcher, but from what I see, especially from the EVPs being the tag champions, what that tells me is that you don't trust your talent. Okay. When you have to interject yourself and have the titles put on you because you don't know who to put the titles on, it doesn't shake well with me. I understand the evil corporation angle we're going here. Yeah. I get that. We watched it for years, Vince. We watched it for years. We seen it. We seen Vince put the belt on himself too. That was a moment of weakness. He won a Royal Rumble as well. Yeah, that was a moment of weakness because you did not trust who was working for you.
Yeah.
And the one thing I always commended Cody on was, hey, me being an EVP, I don't want a belt. Don't put the title on me. I don't want to be in that area. But then you have the Young Bucks and you got the Kenny Omegas, like, give me the belt.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah,
have
to be fair, they held off for a while in that first year.
I don't care how many times how long they held off. You still couldn't pull the trigger.
hey, they were saying like, "Oh, you guys are the EVPs of this company. You can't even win belts," and then they start winning belts.
Like you need to push. You need to push your wrestlers.
But they do it. Yeah.
I feel like AEW for a long time amongst the IWC has been in a very damned if they do, damned if they don't.
Yes. Absolutely.
Mentality. If Tony Khan never would have shown the footage, you would have had a vast majority of the IWC going, why don't you just show the footage? If he's lying or he's not telling the truth, why don't you just show the footage? Then they actually do what they did and show the footage. And a lot of the IWC was like, how you feel? That was stupid. They shouldn't have done that. What did that do for you? And I was one of those people.
Yeah,
we it was the timing for me. It was the timing for me. And once we heard that something happened backstage, drop it. Drop that diss track right there.
Yeah.
Drop it. Hey, this is what happened.
Yeah.
Like, don't wait. What? Almost a year?
Yeah, like 8 months. Something
like that. And then until Punk said something.
I don't think you've seen. I put something on X. I was like, right now, AEW seems like that scorned lover that's mad that your ex got with somebody and they're doing better. What it felt like. It was like, yo, leave CM Punk alone now, man. He looks happy where he's at. He's not bothering you guys right now. But storyline wise, I understand. To your point, JP, I understand story wise. I get that.
Yeah.
The perception of it is what was like, why?
Yeah.
You know,
and like I said, in that moment, like I remember I do an AEW show on Sunday mornings here on Love Wrestling. And I remember that Sunday, I was like, even like a couple days after it, I was like, it felt like that did nothing for me in that moment. Like, who did that help? It didn't hurt CM Punk. It didn't help AEW. What was that for? Now it's skewed a little bit because of the story aspect they've built into it. But like even me, and I'm very pro AEW, but even me, I was like, it just didn't feel right. But all right, before we get out of here though, we do have Backlash to talk about. It's only 5 matches. Yeah,
so, we told you that's how we hooked you in here, and then we're like, we're gonna throw everything else at him.
That's just who we are. We have an itinerary before we come on air, and then we're like, what the hell did he say?
I've enjoyed every bit of it. I don't care. Let's go.
Good.
This has been so much fun.
No, this has been good. But yes, we have 5 matches. It is from Lyon, France. They are another international big show. I am
at 1 p.m.
At 1 p.m., baby. I love me some afternoon wrestling. I am equally as excited about seeing another international audience enjoy this show as I am about myself enjoying this show. And I think, what happened with Backlash in Puerto Rico last year, to me, that was one of the most special things I've ever seen. That Bad Bunny entrance is still the moment of the year for me. I thought that was one of the best wrestling moments in all of 2023. I was watching, I'm getting goosebumps talking about, I remember watching that in my living room being like, this is special. Like this moment right here of this crowd singing this song, going nuts for him. Like it was, and then we saw Cash at the Castle. Again, another banger crowd, which we know, European crowds get after. We just saw something in Australia with another great. I am loving the international flavor that they're doing here. It's refreshing to see new audiences on the screen. I live in Massachusetts, Boston. We get shows all the time. And Boston we always bring it. We always have good crowds.
Way to brag, because we never.
The US fans get spoiled a little bit. So they get complacent.
Exactly.
And yes, the crowd can kill a show. The 100%. Crowd can kill the show.
On Dynamite last night,
bangers. You can have bangers on it, and the crowd's just not engaged. But them international crowds,
unbelievable.
We don't always get this. So when we do,
because
we're going to screw you guys up.
Didn't Josh, a friend of ours that comes on the show all the time, he's from Australia, and he said that they get, what was that, like every 10 years maybe?
Yeah, he said, this was he's like 26. He got his second opportunity. They
got Elimination Chamber, and he's like, this is like the second time in my life that they've been here. It's crazy.
And so they do the tours.
Puerto Rico, that was 20 years.
They were waiting 20, 30 years, and they felt like they were waiting 20 or 30 years.
There is a match on this card that I'm not that hyped for.
Well, let's start there.
I'm not saying it's going to be a bad.
I think I know what he's going to pick.
But I'm not hyped for Damian Priest.
Damian Priest and Jey Uso. Yep, that's what I thought he was going to pick.
I'm not too hyped for that. Talented guys.
Oh yeah.
Jey Uso's limited move set to me kills matches. It kills matches for me. I think that's what happened at Mania with him and his brother. Their limited move set, kind of the same move set. It kind of put them into a realm of, okay, how many super kicks can you do? Are you going to Uso splash me how many times?
Yeah.
You know, you can't get that.
I thought that was going to be the match. Like, we were going to be like, oh shit, that was awesome.
I did too. I think Damian's going to carry this match, and it has to be that way, just for the simple fact we got to get Jey out of his own way sometimes. Yeah. So that's the one I'm least expecting, but I know Damian. My prediction, he's going to retain.
Agreed.
If we're talking about Cody AJ, Cody's going to retain. But we're going to see a banger of a match.
What do you do with Jey, bro? Like, what do you do with Jey if he loses another high profile match? If he doesn't win on Saturday, which some people are predicting that he is going to win.
I don't see it.
No, I don't see it.
I think
I don't necessarily either.
You got to establish Priest as the champion, and I think a victory right out the chute is what you got.
I don't see it.
You know,
the
and I get
way
it.
You could put that belt on Jey is if it was not clean. If you have him beat Damian clean, that would hurt Damian more than anything, because you built him up to be that person, you know, Money in the Bank, you know, all that. But if you have him get beat clean, what was the point of taking it off of Drew and him cashing it in at 5 minutes?
I don't disagree. I'm just playing devil's advocate because I'm sitting here looking at Jey Uso going, you just lost an IC title match. Here you are in a world title match. You lose this, where are you going to go?
Yeah.
What are you going to do? You're kind of like, you just got yeet and that's it.
Yeah, the only thing they're going to do is put him back with his brother.
I was going to say, eventually him and Jimmy will get back together, you would think, right? Now that Jimmy's been kind of booted out of the current iteration of the Bloodline.
Speaking of that match.
I was going to say, they're in a tag match. It's Solo and Tama Tonga against KO and Randy Orton.
Your guy.
But all right, so before we dive into the match, how are you feeling about this kind of new iteration of the Bloodline that they're doing with kind of Solo being the front man, Tama Tonga in there? I do think we'll see another member here soon.
I like
how
it.
You feeling it so far?
I like it.
Yeah.
I'm not fully vested yet. I know Solo has mic skills.
Oh yeah.
I want them to push that a little bit more.
Yeah.
I'm not too familiar with Tama Tonga like that. So I'm just kind of I'm going back and watching some of his old matches in New Japan and things like that to get caught up with him. But it's still entertaining. It's still entertaining to the point to where it just feels like you're in the next season.
Yeah.
Of a show. You know, it's second season of an anthology. That's the way I'm looking at it right now. And I can see this going far. I don't see anything wrong with it. We just have to make sure that their story that they're telling is their story. Not always going to hang on Roman until Roman gets back.
Yeah.
You know, they're doing well with Paul right now.
Paul is killing it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I love the Heyman aspect of it, of him being like literally scared shitless of these guys.
A1.
Like,
so I think it's pretty good right now. I don't know if they're going to. They need to establish them, so I think they're going to win this match.
The Bloodline.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Either they're going to win it,
or Jimmy,
or it's going to be
someone's going to interfere.
Yeah,
but I think you want to put them on the map.
Up.
You beat Kevin Owens and Randy Orton clean, two of the top guys in the company. You beat them like just
Bloodline don't do anything clean though.
I know, but if you want to put them on the map, that's how you do it.
You get them to win clean, and Randy starts to spiral.
Yeah,
Randy starts to spiral,
you
and
could
kicks us over to Cody.
Yeah, because you could have the spiral start.
There it is.
You can have the spiral start with him and KO because they've been kind of friendly, but they're not friends. Like they're not like friends. And we know nobody can ever trust being friends with KO.
But in the old regime, man, that's how it was. You would just win this dirty, and it would be like, they beat him, but you want to establish these two as killers. Have them kill a legend killer and one of the best guys. You know, Kevin Owens is fantastic.
I don't see it happening clean though.
No. I think
I have hope. Okay,
I think there's a chance that we do see Jacob Fatu in this match. I don't know if they would fly him over to France for it, but like, I think there's a chance you could see the new member help because, you know, Randy Orton and KO aren't no slouches. Like, these are former world champions. It's going to be a hard battle for Solo and Tama. I think you got to establish Tama Tonga in this match. We know what we can see with Solo and stuff like that, but this is really Tama Tonga's like first real bout here. And you've positioned him to be the new Solo Sikoa. He's basically the Solo Sikoa of this new bloodline right now. He's the quiet guy that's destroying everybody. I think he really needs to be the focal point of this match. But yeah, I think the bloodline wins. I think it'll be dirty though, because that's just what they do.
What's crazy about this card is the only championship that I think would change hands is that women's tag championship, just for the simple fact that is the only championship that has not changed hands within the last month.
Yeah. And that's where I was going next, because we do have that with Bianca and Jade teaming up against the Kabuki Warriors. I think I agree with you.
Hell beats Bianca and Jade. That's
No one.
Themselves.
If they win on Saturday,
No one.
those belts are just locked down.
They're locked down for a while. They're
You want
locked
to know
down
what I
until-
want to see?
Yeah.
I want to see them get the belts and then they go on this 2-woman power trip.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see it. I want to see them just go rampage. Like you just can't see. I don't see anybody beating them.
Right.
I don't. But we also have to remember this is WWE. Eventually, they're going to turn on each other.
Correct.
Who's going to turn into the heel first?
Okay.
Ooh.
I think it is very easy for it to be Jade. Very easy. However,
this is
we're all leaning in. We're all leaning in.
Where's that best? Stand on your business.
However,
baby.
I love Bianca as a babyface. I think she is a perfect, legendary already babyface. I am waiting for NXT Bianca, heel Bianca to come back like you fucking dream about. Like you fucking dream about. And at one point in the future down the line, you talk about a 2-person power trip. I need Montez and Bianca as a heel couple on the show running one of these shows. That's further down the line, though. But I think it would be a neat twist if it was actually Bianca that turned heel. Like, hey, Jade, you came in here and you're trying to be the new me. But I started, like,
You didn't even go here when I
Exactly. Like, you're coming in here trying to take my spot. Like, go F yourself. I'm turning on you before you turn on me.
That would be
I would like to see
pay-per-view match. That would be
I think
something
that's a WrestleMania match, one-on-one. That's a WrestleMania match, 1,000%. One-on-one. Because they had that moment in the Rumble, and that was very on purpose. That was very on purpose that they had that stare down, because I do think when we get to next year's WrestleMania, this is going to be one of the marquee matches where it'll be one-on-one. I don't think maybe if it's for a title, it could be, but like, I don't know if it'll be a main event match or whatever, but this will be a giant match at WrestleMania next year. Jade versus Bianca one-on-one. Yeah. I would be fine with either one of them. I would be okay with whoever goes heel, but I think it would be fun if it kind of, because I think going into it, everybody's going to automatically think like, oh, well, Jade will eventually be the one that turns. She was a heel in AEW. She, you know, I think they both can do it, but I think it would be fun if Bianca kind of.
Was she really?
I was just going to say,
do we not think she was a heel in AEW? Her character?
Her character was a bully, but
I think she was confident.
She was cocky. See, we sometimes take cockiness as being a heel.
Confidence and cocky.
Yeah, you. I don't think she really was, but can she? I can see it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
With the right tutelage, with the right people behind her, say, "Hey, this is what you need to go out here and do." She's shown that she could be on the mic.
Oh
you know, she. Everybody was talking about, she's green. She's green. Yeah. And guess what they did? They set her down and said, "Hey, let's hone some skills real quick. Let's get
to the point that I was like, did they forget she's on the sign?"
And like, but I think the way they did it is fine. I think the way they did it was perfect, because like Stu said, she was training and learning and getting better. They put her in the 3-way at Mania, so she was protected by 5 other women in the match. Now she's with Bianca, and you know that like until they feel like Jade is ready to start being on one-on-one long-form matches, like this is the perfect opportunity for her. They're going to be the champions. They're going to run that tag division probably for the summer, if not into the fall. Who knows? Because literally, who is going to beat them? Honestly, who is going to beat them. And it's perfect because
Charlotte,
Bianca,
Becky.
maybe. Probably the mega powers collide. That's what it's going to be. The female mega powers.
Here comes Charlotte and Becky.
That's what it's going to take. It's going to take the female mega powers there, and Charlotte and Becky or someone.
See how I just bring it all full circle?
Like,
I know.
It's one of those things where it's just perfect because Bianca can like do the brunt of the work if they feel like Jade is still not fully ready, right? Like Bianca can do the brunt of the work. Jade will get that hot tag and destroy everybody to get all the pinfalls, and it's just a perfect. And then when they feel that, they go, "Okay, one of you tonight's the night. We're blowing this up in."
Hey, hot take. I think one of these women's matches at Backlash is going to be match of the night.
I think it's going to be the next one, which is the triple threat. So we all believe that Bianca and Jade, are we all on that train
absolutely.
that they're winning the tag?
I think we're all in alignment there.
and Kyrie Sane, geez, guys.
Yeah, I do like the fact
the most dominant tag team in women's history.
I do like the fact that Damage Control moved over to Raw, though. I like the separation with Bayley.
Asuka's also a little banged up, so I can imagine that this is a perfect spot to. I can't wait for the AEW haters to be like, see what they did with Jade.
She's in a tag team.
So the women's tag team titles are both brands, though, right?
Yeah, you can float them.
Okay.
They float.
So which would be great because then you could get Jade, Bianca on all three brands.
Yeah.
You do a lot of cool stuff.
Those are two of your performers that you want on as many shows as you can get because
and just running through
those
people.
Two specifically. I have been watching wrestling in events or things like that where like non-wrestling fans are there. And when they see Bianca, kind of like your daughter Scoob, or they see Jade, they go, "Who the hell is that? Can you tell me who that is, please? Who is this person?" Yeah. And I go, "Yeah, this is Bianca Belair, or that's Jade Cargill." Like they're a big deal. They're stars.
I just want
they're a
one
big deal.
ab. That's all I want. I just want that.
One? I'll take a half.
Yeah. I don't even want the six pack. Just give me one right there.
But I do think this triple threat for the WWE Women's Championship is going to be the match of the show. I hope it opens the show, to be honest with you. It is Bayley defending against Naomi.
Now I'm just mad that they got abs I didn't know existed.
I know. For me,
Jade has like 14.
I know. To me, I think Bayley retains. I don't think that's a question to me, but I think that this is going to be a full-on showcase of Tiffany Stratton. Like I think they've been showcasing her perfect since she's been there.
She's 25.
She's 25. And like when you first saw her in NXT, like when she first got there in NXT, you knew she had the look immediately where you're like, oh, she looks the part, but not everything was there yet. But when they kind of rebranded her down there and brought her back as this kind of Tiffy time, daddy's little rich princess character, it was evident from the jump. It was like, she gives me
Logan Paul vibes.
That's a good
naturally gifted wrestler that you just want to hate him, but you're like, damn,
good. Yeah, that's so good. And that moonsault that she has, man, good Lord.
That is a beautiful.
It's a pretty smooth. You said without no question, Bayley retains.
To me, yes.
But here we're propping Tiffy up, and it's a perfect. It's a perfect scenario for Bayley.
I'm with you. I'm sorry.
Huh?
I'm with JP.
Yeah,
I don't see that.
I think Tiffany Stratton. I think Tiffany Stratton's missed Money in the Bank like you dream about this year. That's what I think.
But I also see a scenario where she sneaks in a triple threat. It just eats the scraps and wins.
Look, at Bayley is the type of champion where Bayley's done so much. That's not going to hurt.
That's
Bayley
what I mean.
She loses this match.
I love
like she's done so much.
She's fantastic, but.
Look, I've been on the Tiffany Stratton train for like 2 years. I love, like, she is, in my opinion, like she has a chance to be one of the all-time greats.
I don't want to leave Naomi out of this.
I don't either. I feel like we're not talking about her either.
We always seen in her career though that makes me scared is every time she won the title, she got hurt. She had to give it up. And it's like, dude, I want you to win so bad. I want you to have that moment.
Yeah.
But will you stay healthy after you have it?
Right.
Like all three of them are great. I do think this is going to be a banger of a match.
Oh,
but Bayley's coming out on top. Bayley's winning it.
I agree.
Well,
I think
you heard it here first.
Listen,
I'm going with Tiffany Stratton.
Listen, I love your pick. If I'm rooting for someone, and I love Bayley, she's my favorite of the four horsemen. I love
Pick
Bayley.
with your heart, man. Pick with your heart.
I'm going Bayley. I'm going Bayley here. Listen,
Here's the
It will
thing.
be
Here's the
Tiffany
thing.
time real soon. Real
We
soon.
talk about it quite a bit with one LA Knight. He's hotter than ever. He's the talk of the town. They keep putting him in these unwinnable situations. How much longer can you do that? I
Tiffany
just feel
just
that
got there though.
doesn't matter to
plenty
me.
of time.
We just talked about it. We just talked about it with Becky Hogan. You guys were saying, here's a chance. Put it on somebody. Trust
look at-
your talent.
I
Here's
would love
somebody that everybody raves about. Why not take the shot?
He has to.
Bailey's story was Mania. She got it. That's her. What I mean, it's Bailey. She's untouchable. She could take an L here.
LA Knight, his momentum was almost derailed by Vince, and they had to get that back. Is he ready? Dude's a great wrestler. He's a great wrestler. He would have to go after the world title. He couldn't go after the WWE title. I don't see them letting him beat Cody at all. Right now, Damian is the most beatable champion that they have right now that they can take the belt off of. They can take it off of him if it needs to be. So that's the only way I see him getting a title. That's the only way I see it. I don't see him beating Cody for anything. Actually, he probably needs to be the next one to be on that IC title, hold it for a while, and show that he's out here doing the legwork. We know that he's been out here for a moment. We know this is just not his first stop. He's been other places. He has to get the IC title first, or something else has to happen before he gets the main title run.
Yeah, I would agree. I think listen, Pluggo, I love your Tiffany Stratton pick. I do. I just think Bailey retains. I think when you're talking about the LA Knight Tiffany Stratton comparison,
just in terms of little momentum.
Yes, which I get. To me, it's a little bit different of a scenario because like LA Knight, yes, he hasn't been in WWE his whole career, but like he's a known commodity. He's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton is getting a lot of momentum because they booked her properly since she's been up. But she's literally just been like,
listen, the last time they tried it was Finn Balor, right? Like a quick call up.
He got hurt, unfortunately.
Right. But I'm just saying, I think we you can't call it the new era if we're just going to keep relying on the old. I'm just saying you got to do something at some point, or I'm going to be like,
you need them to pull the trigger now.
I would like them to pull the trigger on somebody now going, this is our person. We are ready for, because you got the 4 horsewomen, no doubters. Obviously Mercedes is gone. You've got that next tier of people, but Alexa Bliss ain't there right now. Asuka's going to be out probably for a little bit. You need to establish, like you got Bianca in that spot. You got to establish like, okay, this is our next person. We are going to at least give it a shot. It worked with your boy Randy Orton. It may not have worked out, but he had a pretty good career after that first title run. I just want them to do it with somebody. Yeah, but at that point, it does feel super predictable. Like I get it. Wrestling is fine. Predictability is not bad, but sometimes you got to take the shot. And Bailey, like I said,
I feel like it's a different scenario. Randy Orton had been a multi-time intercontinental champion before.
There's not a mid card evolution. There's not a mid card in the women's.
They need one.
Okay,
this right here, they need one. This right here, they proves they need one.
Yes,
they need the women's IC title.
If you're not going to pull the trigger in a world title scenario with an up and coming women's star, then you need to create a new title. And they're doing that in NXT, but that's NXT. I'm just saying, it's
a soft launch. That's what they're doing. It's
right.
a soft launch. They're
testing it out in NXT. If it works in NXT, I bet you will see.
Don't get me wrong. Saturday afternoon, when I'm sitting on my couch and Bailey wins, I'm not going to be mad about it. I'm a huge Bailey stan. I just think, how many times are we going to do this? Oh, we got him. This is the next person, but we're going to have them lose a big match. We're going to have them lose a big match. I'd rather not be in the match if you're just going to ever lose.
Why isn't Becky on this card?
That's a good question. I don't know. I'm not sure why they didn't. I thought she was going to be.
Yeah. They didn't really do that.
I don't know. That's what I don't know. I just, in this scenario, I think
Liv won a match. She beat Nia to be the number 1 contender. So why isn't that match? Is that on Raw? Is that not? Are they doing that at a different time? I don't know.
Anyway, maybe they'll book it tomorrow. But I also remember too when Tiffany, there was a lot. She killed it in the Elimination Chamber, but there was still that group of like fans that were like, you debuted her and she lost. in this big spot. And how many times are you going to do that, especially when there's not a fallback like a United States or an Intercontinental
the
Championship?
Elimination Chamber
Oh,
as
yeah.
a launching point.
Mm-hmm.
They failed so many wrestlers there. Montez Ford showed out.
Oh, I
in the
know.
Elimination Chamber.
We were saying he was next. Yeah,
we were saying he was next. We were like, yes, and fizzled out. Go back. Like, so we have to see a little bit more of her to feel comfortable with that. And if she does win it, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Oh, I wouldn't be mad at it at all. I'd be
don't
pumped.
see her winning it. I don't
either.
When she wins it on Saturday, I'm going to clip this.
That'd be fine. That's fine.
And I expect an apology to her.
We both just told you we would be very happy if she ended up winning on Saturday.
If she,
I just think right now, like
he's winning it.
And I, Scoob mentioned the Money in the Bank earlier. I do think Money in the Bank has really, it's not what it used to be. But Tiffany Stratton was on, I think she was with Chris Van Vliet, and he asked her about it, and she said, "Oh, if I win Money in the Bank, I want it to be a pink briefcase with like all dolled up with rhinestones and stuff like that." I think Tiffany Stratton is the perfect type of, like, where she is on her rise. I think she's the perfect type of person to win the Money in the Bank, and then Queen of the Ring, Money in the Bank. Like, I think that's where she is. Again, like, would I be upset about it? No. Tiffany Stratton is already one of my favorite people in all of WWE. I love everything I'm seeing with her.
All right.
I just think you want to tell me she's going to win it at SummerSlam in 3 months. I'm on board as they continue to,
we can't all agree on everything. That's not great.
No.
TV and podcasting.
No.
But I'm here to say it's Tiffy time on Saturday. You both are wrong, but I love both of you. But
I will be gladly telling you I was wrong if that is the result.
I expect a text.
No problem.
Yeah. We did talk a little bit about Damian Priest and Jey Uso. That is happening. That is for the World Heavyweight Championship. So we already did that. We kind of know what's going to happen. That is the one, and I feel bad because I like Damian Priest.
I'll say is this. I think that they leaned a little heavy on the fact that they know that they're going to have a hot international crowd, and that they put too much into this, like with the draft and stuff. They were just like, we'll get the yeeks going and it'll be fine. But they put that match together because it's like, it's France. We'll be fine. It's London, right? France. Yeah.
Lyon. It's France, but
right. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not smart.
It should be next up. I'm sorry. Like, Gunther has to be somewhere in this picture.
You got to be there. Yeah.
Well, I think Gunther has to be the overwhelming favorite to win King of the Ring. I would think.
I would like him to come out. Whoever wins this match, beat Damian Priest down or something, and be like, as soon as I win King of the Ring, I'm coming for this. Like
Bash at Berlin or
something like call his shot. Because we'll believe it. That's the thing with him. He could say, I'll beat you at the hotel room later. And we'll be like, he'll be there.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too far down, but my vision is that Gunther would win the Royal Rumble, and it would be him and Cody at Mania next year for the belt. That's what I would like. It would be Gunther and Cody. Cody's kind of like Mr. America, kind of with the red, white, and blue. Gunther, I think that would be I have a vision of like Cody and Gunther as the main feud for the next 5 years. You know what I mean? Like on and off with each other kind of thing.
No,
not for you.
No,
I don't want Gunther anywhere near Cody.
Not right now. I just think
right now, like
down the line.
Yeah. I'm still trying to picture it. I can't get past my GOAT first. Give me. I just got to get past Randy first.
Again,
that's
Cody and Randy at SummerSlam. You should book it now. That's what should happen.
By the time we get to WrestleMania next year, they'll be booing Cody.
Maybe.
And then Gunther will be the heat.
You never know.
No, I'm just kidding.
Somebody said Cody does have that underlining heel factor to him. Like you just waiting for him to be like, okay, screw you guys. I got what I wanted.
Yeah.
I don't need you anymore.
I'll be at All Out Chicago.
Oh my god.
I'm going back.
Oh my god.
The Cody versus Real. Let's go. I got this damn title. Throws it in the trash and
He's
leaves.
Gonna be with his gauntlet.
Oh boy. But the main event though, and I know we addressed it at the top. Like we all know Cody's winning this match. Clearly.
Absolutely.
Yes. However,
I'm kidding.
I swear to God, brother.
I'm with you guys.
I swear. First time matchup though, never happened before. Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles. First time matchup. And like you said off the top, Scoob, like, yeah, we know the result that's going to happen here, but I think this match is going to be incredible. Like, I think it's going to be really, really good. I think AJ kind of has something to prove a little bit. Like, I think he's going to have like that mentality of like, yeah, y'all might have forgot about me a little bit, but like, I'm still AJ Styles.
That's because your new song sucks.
It's very bad. I have never been, you want to talk about something that has nothing to do with it. I have never been as low on WWE music themes than I am currently right now. I just think most of them are just so generically bad. They say that, yeah, all of them. Like Bianca still has a banger. Yeah. That's a banger. But most of them are just like, they're yelling the catchphrase and it's some generic guitar. It's just like, what are we doing?
It's giving me WWE No Mercy vibes.
Oh, like did AJ really need to change his theme? He had one of the best themes.
What he said was that the theme that he had did not scream heel. It did not scream his character. So he needed something different.
Yeah, AJ's deserves to do kind of whatever he wants to do. Like,
the only one recently that I'm talking about knocked it out the park was The Rock.
Yeah.
Like, the way they meshed his babyface theme and his heel theme together, it was just like,
and that the new entrance they gave him with the lightning, it was just
like that was spot on. I don't know if the same people that did that was giving us what we were getting now. but someone.
But I could imagine if they were, The Rock being like, "That doesn't work for me. Fix it." But they'd be like, "Okay, yes, sir." But little, like New Cats Republic, they're like, "You get what you get."
Yeah, DIYs is very cringy.
Oh yeah. Ugh.
It's just like some of them are just so. It's like, what are you doing? Why are we doing that?
And I know that, and I can tell you, I know that theme songs are huge. I know for us that we watch it all the time, but like my son, like he'll see, he knows like I'll play theme songs in the car and he'll go, "Yep, that's Shinsuke. Yep, that's Seth Rollins. Yeah, that's Bobby Lashley." Like he knows it. So when you start throwing these like where they don't connect with even the young fan, you're just like, you're like, who's this?
Somebody not in WWE right now. Swerve. His intro music gets me.
Unreal. Unreal.
It just gets
you do the Prince Nana dance on the couch like everybody else? Because I do.
I'm there.
Do you walk around work with that in your head?
All day.
All day. I'm just
when I swerve, when I drive. Oh, it's great.
All day.
So good.
That and Joe Henry.
It's so the Joe Henry song this week. Good Lord.
Swerves
that's like number one on the charts in the UK, by the way, that Joe Henry song. It's like literally on the top, like 20 or 10 charts.
He willed that thing to the top of the chart. And I don't know how many times a day I will just be sitting there in maybe the most serious thought at work or the most serious thought at home, and it's to say his name. And I'm like, son of a bitch, again.
Well, you mentioned him. I know you said that you kind of keep up with AEW, but you're not a regular watcher. But I mean, Swerve is just a different cat, man. Different level cat. Different level.
I followed him when he was NXT with
Hit Row.
With Hit Row.
Yeah.
Hit Row.
But when he went over to AEW, like I was really pushing for him to do big things. And I just did a video recently about him winning. And it was kind of tongue in cheek with
I having
a little PTSD when it comes to black men winning titles in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Brock Lesnar's coming out of somewhere.
Beating him in 6 seconds.
He's coming out of somewhere to squash somebody.
That's still to this day one of the worst decisions they've ever made with Kofi. Because they did it for Velasquez, which is like, okay, but then like you never paid back off the Kofi stuff, and then Kane ends up doing that one match. It was garbage, and then he's now in jail or something.
But you got to pay attention to what happened in that moment. Kofi Mania happened. Vince did not want it to happen.
No, yeah.
So you got to remember all the hoops and hurdles that he made it go through, and then when I think it was the year SmackDown went to Fox.
It was the debut episode,
and that was the Mustafa Ali spot.
And
that was
there. Yeah. He did not want Kofi to do anything.
No.
So he was like, "Look, I'm going to give you what you want, but once I give it to you, I'm taking it away." And it was I'm talking about gut punch. It was like, why? So now I think almost a lot of African American fans of wrestling have PTSD whenever we get a title run, when Trick won it in NXT, I'm like, yo, is the music gonna hit?
Yeah.
Is something gonna happen right now?
And he's just like,
but it's fun. It's fun to talk about those things and laugh about it, though.
Yeah, like my thing was in the moment going into it, there was like, oh, Brock's wrestling on regular television. He's fighting Kofi for the title. I knew Brock Lesnar was winning that match.
Yeah.
I wasn't upset that Brock Lesnar won the match, but the way it happened, that is disrespectful.
In the program.
That was disrespectful.
Yeah.
I don't care whether that was the plan or not. That was disrespectful to Kofi Kingston. He had just had one of the all-time great moments that you had no problem showing us 1,000 times on your weekly television shows.
Yep.
You know, Kofi made. I was there. I was in New York for that. That was a great moment. And he had a pretty decent title run that nobody talks about because of the way the title run ended. Nobody talks about that. He had a good feud with Randy Orton for a few months. He had a good thing going. And going in, I was like, yeah, obviously they're going to give Brock back the belt. Duh. They're not going to have him wrestle on SmackDown and lose. But 6 seconds, like Kofi out of nowhere. Kofi's been wrestling for 11 years. He's a veteran of the ring, a smart wrestler. He's just going to charge and jump on Brock Lesnar's shoulders right at the beginning of the match. That's Kofi's. He's going to make that decision in there.
What Brock does.
One of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time in Kofi Kingston. He's just going to run and dive at Brock.
There's a lot of things in wrestling we will never get an answer to.
Come on.
And that's one of them.
Come on.
Like, what were you thinking?
Unbelievable.
Why?
Unbelievable.
But yeah, Swerve is doing his thing right now, man. I really appreciate that. I like what I'm seeing there.
Yeah, I do too. And they just announced the other night that Christian Cage is going to be.
Oh, I'm ready for that.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
That.
Oh, baby. I like that whole segment. Christian is going to lean it. You know, Swerve is the baby face now. But you know, last time I checked, it wasn't too long ago that Swerve was breaking into people's houses and talking to babies over cribs.
I'll have to find the clip.
Causing people to drink his blood.
We were sitting here going, is he going to steal that baby?
The whole time I was like, he should have taken that. He should have took that baby.
Is he taking that? Is he taking that?
I was messaging Plug on, go, he's going to steal this baby. He's going to take this baby, I think. He's going to take this damn baby. And then he didn't, but I was like, is he going to take this baby?
Hey, JP, like, that's going to be a plot hole that you're going to be worried about for the next 20 years. Where's that baby at now?
Like, what is he doing now? What's the baby
doing? Does he still have
Swerve trying to take you?
Jeez, Louise.
That t-shirt's worth money now. Do you still have that t-shirt, young little hangman?
Man, good Lord.
Did you get an autograph?
No, yeah. It's very good. I've always been to me, when WWE released Swerve, when they did that a handful of years or whatever, I was just like, that was one of the ones, and I know it's to all of us, but that was one of the ones to me that I was like, that dude's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
That guy's a no-brainer. Like, what are you doing? And again, I know different regime.
I was going to say that you have to remember the focus.
Well, you also have to remember too, Swerve even said it a couple of times. They called him back. Triple H wanted him back, and he said no.
Yeah,
good.
At least that's what he said, 100%. Right?
Good for him.
Now, is he saying it because he's a company guy? Maybe, but yeah, he was like, they got rid of me. I get to do my own thing.
And that's what I like about wrestling now. That's what makes wrestling good to me now. They are able to make their own freaking decisions. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not somebody dangling something over your head, like you're not going to be able to go anywhere else to do this. No, I have options. Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to build my product. And then when you see me again, you're going to be like, hey, come, I'm going to pay you more. And I want you to come do this. But I could be like, no, I want to be a free agent. I want to show up where I want to show up. Yeah, I do this one-off date for you, but then I'm going to go here.
Yeah.
I like that about wrestling now. They're like those.
If I want to stream, I'm going to stream. If I want an endorsement deal, I'm going to have an endorsement deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
a good thing.
And I think the current regime, as you're already seeing, like Shayna Baszler did Bloodsport WrestleMania weekend. Yeah. Like, you know, Charlie Dempsey, I know he's one of your favorites, Pluggo, down in NXT. Like, he did Bloodsport. Like, Triple H is going to be way more lenient about letting his performers do stuff like that. Now,
just like TNA coming in, you got Mickey James coming in.
Mickey James. Yeah, we had Jordan Grace in the Royal Rumble, which was one of the better moments of the Royal Rumble. Like, that type of stuff is going to happen more now, and it might even happen more often.
Speaking of which, you're seeing Jordan Grace and Natalia kind of mix it up on socials now. Maybe we see a Natalia slot over to TNA.
Yeah, why not? You know, repay the favor. Have Natalia go over there for a one match with Jordan Grace for the TNA, whatever, you know? And I think, like, that this was unthinkable when Vince was over there, because Vince didn't
5
do that.
years
You know
ago.
what I mean? Like, yeah, this was unthinkable. And now I just think Triple H has more of a modern view of the wrestling business.
And
like,
it's crazy that he has that modern view, and he's such an old school guy.
yeah,
He still wants you to grind and take less money.
Well, yes, he will. If you want to take a lesser schedule, you know, you don't.
If you want to work less and make more, you're a bum. Oh, okay. Sorry, Triple H.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, but no, it is cool. It is cool to see, and I'll say this too. I was talking about it with just releases. Like, it's even better now that the sport has grown to the point where you've options. If you get released from the big company, you can go out, you can make a name for yourself, you can come back and get paid even more. You can show them like, hey, look what I did with Cody. Like, I remember Jade saying, Jade saying she wasn't going to go there initially because she was making more money on endorsements than they were willing to offer her to cut those ties. And then she went, showed what she could do in AEW. They saw the potential. Now she's a big star. So it's wonderful for the talent. If we look at it strictly just the talent, man, good for them. I love it.
And independent wise, Matt Cardona, he just got hurt, which, sucks for him. Like, hopefully he gets better and we see him soon. But Matt Cardona has been very open about how he makes way more money now on the independents, and like his career, like, he took what happened. He got released. He got himself over in WWE by himself. He gets released and he made it a positive, and he's more successful now on the independents than he was when he was wrestling for WWE. And I think 5 to 10 years ago, those options aren't there, man. They're just not there, So I remember, and it sucks when anybody loses their job. Nobody likes the release days, and no matter the company or anything like that. But I remember the release days used to be like so depressing, because it was like shit, because there weren't a lot of places for these people to go. Now you have a release day like there was a couple weeks ago, and it still stinks. You don't want to see anybody lose their job. Right. But now we all know, there is an AEW out there. TNA is back. You can do the independent thing like Card. Like, there's so many options. So wrestling's in a good spot. I think a lot of the times the stuff that gets in the way is, the stuff we talked about right at the beginning that you see in your comments and your videos sometimes, and just people. It's usually not the wrestling that we see on our television screen that gets everybody yelling at each other. It's usually
I ruffled some feathers in my comments before. I made a video a while back that almost had the IWC at my neck. I said something about Hit Row and Top Dollar being cringy. And oh man, when I tell you it went haywire, to the point to where Top Dollar responded on it. And he was like, did? Oh yeah, me and him had correspondence going back and forth. So it was, at the end of the day, like, I didn't know who people were calling, like, oh, AJ, and I'm like, dude, I have no clue who is that. Come to find out, his name's AJ Francis. I'm like, okay, I didn't know what I'm talking about a character on TV,
right?
A person that I see on a TV show. I don't know this man personally. Yeah. So it can get crazy out there. It really can.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
You're telling me, man. I got stories of just like
Pluggo. I swear, like before or after the shows, he's always like, bro.
I'm like, here's the top hits of the day.
And I'm like, Jesus.
My Facebook page is like it's a who's who of like some of the just either they don't understand that I'm talking about a sport it's a show.
Yeah.
Or that because like I posted the other day that like R-Truth got to wrestle with John Cena, his childhood hero, and everybody's like, you realize he's 52, right? And Cena's 4. I'm like, yeah.
Just go with the flow.
Yeah. Just go with the flow.
It's a show. But
we expand our brains.
Of all the people that
every week
surprise me that AJ Francis dug his heels in the sand about Hit Row, because he's still doing interviews where he's like, I'm going to prove that this gimmick was good and I'm going to get it over on the indies. And it's like, it's lacking without some key component.
Yeah, it was good because you had a transcendent individual as the leader. And then when they took that guy away,
it just didn't hit.
It didn't work. It just didn't work.
Like I said, it was people that were coming at me from a personal take on what I said. And it was so weird. That was the first time I seen people really look at wrestling like, hey, that's my favorite wrestler. You can't talk about them like that. Okay, so what my opinion is non-valid because I see something through my own eyes. Like right now, I am a Mercedes Moné fan. I got people that I am mutuals with that will go at me every day. It's fun. Go at me every day. Like, oh, we can't stand her. Does that? Don't take it personal. I don't know these people.
Yeah.
Right.
But you're entitled to your opinion. That doesn't mean we have to go back and forth and be mad. But it got to a point to where people were just upset. They were upset that I made the comment, and and I stood on it. Like, I'm not a person where you bully somebody off of just because you feel a certain way.
You can't say things about Mercedes Moné, man. That fan base.
You want to talk about a fan base that'll get you.
You want guaranteed traction on any concert you make. Just say, you know what? I didn't particularly like the sunglasses she wore this week, and they will come out of the woodwork.
I've been a Sasha Banks fan. She was my favorite 4-horsewoman. I liked her when she was in WWE, and people come at me all the time for being a fan of hers. It's so fun though. It's I know it comes from a place of good fun, and because I talk about their favorite wrestlers too. I'm there with it, and it's just everybody just have fun here.
Yeah.
Oh,
and speaking of fun, you said that's really what's behind your creations and the videos you make is it's all in good fun. So we've had you for 2 hours tonight. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out the whole time. This has been a blast, man. Hopefully we can do it again very, very soon. But let the people know where they can find you, where they can see these videos, where they can follow you, and kind of check out some more Hell Scoob.
Mainly on TikTok, Hell Scoob. You type it in, you're going to see my face, and you're going to know you're going to come to get some good old-fashioned fun. It's going to be a little bit of chaos, treachery. I'm going to set you up for whatever comes along in that way. I may put your favorite wrestler in a video. Please don't take it personal.
I have yelled at you out of love. I've been like, son of a bitch.
I got in the comments. He's like, oh, what? Like, sorry, plug up. My bad, man. You can also catch me on IG, also Hell Scoob, but it's Hill.Scoob. I do have a shorts page on YouTube. YouTube is kind of hard to get going, so it's kind of like, okay. Sometimes I post sometimes I don't. It's also Hell Scoob. But those are the 3 places you can find me. If you really want to see most of all of my content, TikTok is where it's at.
All right. Pluggo, do the thing. Let the people know.
Well, I want to say first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us for 2 hours.
Thank you guys for having me.
This has been a blast. I'm a little disappointed you're not as heelish as your name would suggest. No, it's been an absolute blast. So thank you for that. But you can find me
later.
This is what he draws us in. Next time we have him on, he's just going to yell at us for 2 hours, which we're here for that. I'm down. It's called storytelling, Pluggo. Jesus. I get it. But you can find me at Pluggo on all social media platforms. That's where you can find me. You can find our show and what we do at B2 Beards on all social media platforms as well. So stay up to date with our new guests we got coming on, things of that nature. You can find me Saturday morning, 10 a.m. with Grainmaker Pod, a.k.a. Blair Pacheco, talking for exposure. IWS Freedom to Fight is this Saturday. We're going to break that card down. It's going to be a good one. Plus, I am going to sneak in a get-to-know spotlight interview with the Prime Minister himself, Matt Viviani.
Like it.
So you want to check that out because he is what Canada needs. He's what Canada wants. And if I was a citizen, I would vote for him. But that, I think, is everything. And then Unplugged with Pluggo, my audio podcast that I did not do this week because I was a lazy bum.
It's because you needed that balance, like we talked about at the beginning. Because you needed that balance.
And I did a podcast with Snug Wrestling yesterday, Tuesday. Go check that out. We talked about the King of the Ring as well and some other news and noteworthy things.
Hardest working man in the biz. Pluggo there.
I try.
You can find me at JPJ Loves Gaming on all social media platforms, including Twitch. We play a lot of Madden, MLB The Show, and all fun stuff over there. Thursday nights right here. Between Two Beards. We've done 152 of these babies. We are the flagship here at Love Wrestling, so you can find me here at 8 o'clock on Thursdays, and you can find me at 9 a.m. this Sunday for Firmly AEW with my man Drew Nicholas, where we talk about everything AEW.
Early.
A little early. We did 9 o'clock last week, and it worked, so we're going to swing for it again. So we're going to do 9. But yeah, that's where you can find me and find all of us. Again, Hell Scoob, thank you so much for joining us
thanks for having
tonight.
me, guys.
You are more than
I do
welcome here.
appreciate
Open
it.
door policy. Whenever you want to hop on, hit us up. You are more than welcome here, my friend.
Will do.
Until next time, for Scoob, for Pluggo, I am JPJ. Thank you all for tuning in the contents. Get ready to say hi for Sue, and we'll see you real soon. Peace out.
Peace.
Rock, show up on time.
Hey there, Pluggo and JPJ. It's Trent's mom, Sue, and I have a bone to pick with you. So, I understand that you guys are being real idiots and spending your entire monthly budget. You've got to be kidding me. This is not the way to be when you're trying to run a business. Your boss, Spencer, is really pissed off at you. I'm pissed off at you. You have some nerve. Get a grip. You have to control yourself. You can't just go out and spend all the money that you're making, you two beards guys. Oh no, this is coming out so stupid. Anyway, behave yourselves, or I'm going to cut you off from watching AEW. You're no longer going to get to know, be able to meet my son. What? Or me. I'm sorry, this is like, I don't know. Anyway, thanks so much for being fans. Watch yourselves. Knock it